Now with all the notion in place, we will start to create our new document. So let's take a look at this one. This one is 400 millimeters by 24 millimeters, but that's not a big deal. That could be the size you want, especially because it's vector based. So let's open a new document. Let's select a print intent, but that could be web if you want to have, again, RGB color intent, etc. And just saying that, and we will say, for example, to have the same thing. But again, this is completely arbitrary. That could be some measurement. The reason why also this sample is so flashy and not conventional for US or French, because in a different country you could have different, different rules to build a map. So I prefer to stay agnostic regarding the way you want to build a map, but the principle will help you to build your own custom map, and perhaps just to use mine and to change just the style to adapt to your needs. So let's start and let's say okay. So I have now my empty document. Again, like I told at the beginning, but if you squeeze, I will do a quick recap. I will select all unused graphic style placed by default by the profile of this document. So let's delete what's not needed. I will come back for the graphic style there. Let's again start. So generally I will start perhaps by deleting all the unselected brush. Again, 2 will stay because that's the basic ones. And again, I don't want any symbol. Doing this cleaning will also reduce a little bit the size of your files, so I prefer to memorize this document as a profile for my future creation of document, or to save that as a template, if you prefer, EAT file formats. So in place of just deleting everything there, I will just keep, for example, the black, but I will check the global color to have the ability to sync. I will grab perhaps a color like that for my road, perhaps another one a little bit darker, and let's say with a little bit of black in it. Again, a global, perhaps just darker for the line. And that's it. I think I will perhaps create over later, so I will just select everything and deselect just my global one and do the clean. So that's just to have basic color to start with something. We already saw that by default when we click on the D key just there, that will come back to the default graphic style there. So, and this default graphic style contain a white fill. I don't want any white fill, and because of the structure and the way we will define also this map, we want any color on our path, because every attribute of the appearance will be stacked on the layer and sublayer. So I don't want any color in fill or stroke. And so with that, I will override the default attribute by just dragging with the Alt key on PC, Option key on Mac, and just drag on top of. And now that will be my default. So no color. So if I have any doubt, because sometimes you grab something, you added some stuff, just D, and you're sure you have no attribute at this path level, because we don't want to have an attribute and on top of that having another attribute that could give you some weird stuff later. So let's say, and let's rename map. I give caps for me when I'm at a master level, so at the parent level. So that's the reason why that's my naming convention. So no need to do that, because I know inside I have a sublayer inside this layer. I use caps. So that's the way I'm working, just to know if I have sublayers inside or not. So you can see there I have sublayer also on this one. So that's that's my plan. Generally, when you will work, so let me just use again the black to show you something. When we will use, for example, line, and I will go outside, you can see I will have some other things going outside my canvas. So I don't want that. And if you take a look there, if I'm going to my road or my small road, I can go outside and nothing's appear because I have simply a mask. So we will do that at first, so to be sure everything is okay. So select everything, delete. I don't want to have anything at this moment in my layer. So I will use here my rectangle. I have my smart guide activated, so Command U, smart guide. And if you use at the beginning a web or mobile profile, you could have this option activated. This option is aligned to pixel grid for creation and transformation, but for something like maps, some graphic arts, generally you don't want. So if you have this activated, please uncheck before. That will avoid some junction between a path, that will avoid some weird reaction if you don't know what it is. If you know, just use it if you need it. So I will use that and just checking, so checking there. I will open just temporarily there. I want 40 and 2040, and I want to be also, let's open my transform panel there. I want to be at 0, 0 to be sure, and sorry again, I forget that it was a link, 100, 240, and now it's okay. So I just want to copy that in my, my clipboard, and now I'm at the level of my layer. I have my rectangle there, and you can go in the local menu and say make clipping mask. So you can see it's a clipping mask because you have an underline on this layer, and you can rename it. So generally I rename it mask, just makes sense because it's a mask, and I can now just lock. So now when you will draw something, if you go outside, that doesn't matter. You can't see anything even if you have something outside. So that was the purpose of this mask. And I kept in my clipboard a version, so just to have the frame. So let's say Z Ctrl F, place in place, because I already did all I needed, place in front. And I will name that frame, because that will be the border of my map. And I will just use, for example, there, a stroke that could be from there, inside, and perhaps with that. So I don't want to go outside, and I just want to work that way. So because had to center, sometimes you need to reset the stuff, and that's it. And for the same reason, I will just select because I don't want now to modify it. So that's the main stage. So be aware also if you want to use FX. Generally, I don't use a lot of FX. That in the FX menu you need to set up there. But if you use a print setup, a print profile like I did, you already have there the resolution. And normally you already have in your document setup there a medium resolution or a high resolution to set up to define how will work the flattening of transparency if you need to flatten it. So in the edit menu, you also have here the transparency flattener presets. And so you can define or create your own at this place, and that's the element you can find in this just there. So that's it, we are ready to go, and now you can save your map, and let's say map, and let's say .01 in case of. So now it's okay, and we are ready to start. So let's say again, I would like now to use, so that's the reason why I used so a precise size and already my frames. That's because now I will have the ability to draw my road. So the small road, the medium road, and the highway. So we will name for an easy translation, we'll name that road 1, road 2, and road 3. That will be easier for the last. So you can see the behavior we described, that it will put on top. I will put on top of a layer because we created first the mask, we created secondly the frame. So when I'm drawing on a layer, it will put on top the path. I don't want that, so I will go on my map and I will click there to create a sublayer. So now I have a sublayer, I will put my path on it and I will drag this sublayer just below the mask. And now, because I'm on this sublayer, when I'm doing something, that will be on this layer and not on top of this map. So that's cool. Just also to let you know, when the mask is created, you can put the mask at the bottom. That doesn't matter. You need to have the shape to build your map on top of the stack, inside the layer at the first position to create it, but after that you can put that at the bottom, and that's not an issue. And don't take attention of this. It's a small refreshing bug. Normally that need to be blue. So that's it. So now I'm there. So I will name that roads in cap, because I will put inside small roads, medium road, and big roads. So for now I will just create a road in caps. And so that's my road. I already have there my my color. So let's say this is my small road, but perhaps I would like to have a road like that, but with perhaps more. Let me just jump there. Perhaps 12, and perhaps I would like to have a small line outside. So just to know what will happen later, perhaps I want also to go there and to down a little bit the opacity, if I want exactly to have the same color for my road, but just with a small tint, and if I want to have the outside a little bit bigger. So now let's duplicate or create a new one. At the bottom I will just use here this thumbnail. With the shift key I can open directly my color, that's avoid to go there and to lose this presentation. So shift click, you will have that. So it's a convenient way to use and to modify your tint. And I will perhaps put 2 or 3, yeah, 4 pixels. So 2 pixels in one side, 2 pixels in the other side to have my small road. So that's what I would like to have at the end. But we'll see in a minute that we will have an issue working with 2 strokes there. But that's another story. So let's continue. And let's say, okay, this is my session I want to have with Alt key. I want to have this. So that's the smallest road. I will name that road and 1. And let's be lazy and copy. So that's my road 1. And it's applied. Let me just now use another one. So sorry, I'm in the trackpad, so let's grab my Wacom stylus. And now I would like perhaps to have something bigger. So let's go there. Let's say this is my medium road. I can change that later, so it's not an issue. And let's say I would like 1444. And that's it. And I will say here and 2. And let's go and let's use another one. And on this one I will go, for example, at this size, 1, 2, 4, and let's say this one is the road 1, so the most important is 1. Sorry, so that need to be 3. So that will be 3. Okay, but on this one I would like also to have another path, and let's undo. Let's duplicate with Alt. Let's say for this one I would like to have just 2, I said. or just one, and perhaps because it's an highway, perhaps I would like to have a dash line, so something that makes sense for me. So let's select and replace, and now we have our style. So that's the way I will build first my style. I will just shake there. Oh, there is a mistake. That was just supposed to be 4 by difference. So let's do that again. And let's go there. And here we are. So that's how I build my stuff. So, but just to be sure, I just want to go there. This is the O1. This is the O2 because that makes more sense for me to be in the over order, and this is the O3. So that's how it works for me. So the biggest one, and here we are. Remember also you can just there sort by large list view or small list view if it's better, and generally it's better like that. It's easier to see what's happened. But in this case, when you take a look there, we have an issue with the overlapping. So we want to have one unique line there. So first of all, before starting everything, we would like to delete this path. So I have only my road, so I can target now the road using the circle. And sorry, not targeting right now. I don't need to. I just need to create a sublayer, and this sublayer will be named road O1. I don't want to create another sublayer inside this one, so I will just create a new layer that will be road O2, and a new layer, sorry, just one, road O3. Main reason I will just change the order of the stack to be consistent with. So now with nothing selected, with nothing inside the layer, I will just target the road one. So targeting the road one and click to road one. So layer targeted with road one. Now I will target the other one. So now I have knowing I'm just on this one and road 2, and this one road 3. And we can see there is there the thing. So now let's try, and let's command control click to disable to be sure I have no selection now. I still have this but no selection. And let's say D to deselect. The reason why I really encourage you to make a clear attention about deselecting first is because if I'm there, I'm still on the layer. I have nothing selected, but I'm still on the layer. Like you can see, the target is there. If I press D, I will remove everything on my layer. I don't want that. So that's the reason why it's really important when you are on a layer, even if there is nothing in it, to detarget this layer. And that was the reason of the previous introducing fundamentals tutorial before this first one. So now I have my structure. So let's just select the layer there and just press D now because I'm sure I'm not targeting it, so I will not remove the section. And let's now try with no fill, no stock. So this is my highway. Let's deselect, let's change there, let's change there. And you can see now, I don't need to deselect, that I have the proper line in the proper thing. But that doesn't work like I want. I really want like that to have this small section. And the reason why that doesn't work is because each of my road have the second stroke. So I can just remove this one. So road 1 and replace road 1. Now I don't have it. Coming back on road 2, deleting the second stroke and replacing on road 2. Deleting, replacing. So now I have visually something I like, something close to what I want. So how can I do now have a consistent, I just want 2 pixels at the outside of everything. So I think you guess we will target the parent of this sublayer. So if we target the parent of this sublayer, so I'm really on this one, okay, even if everything is selected, I'm really targeting there. I can try to say, okay, let's add, a new stroke on the layer. And yes, that will work, like you can see. But that doesn't really work like I want, because I need to have something which is not 23 point absolute. I need to have 2 points on one side and one other side, but relative. And if I'm moving from there and just changing the color to see something, you can, after that, take the new stroke of this layer, this parent layer, and drag it just behind the content. And that's what we will do later. But you can see it's absolute. We don't need an absolute value, we need a relative value. So that's the main issue we will have there. So let's just do that. So we just want that. How we can handle that? And that's the tricky part, and that's where a good knowledge of Illustrator will help. Because we need to say at the parent level that's what inside, even if it's a simple path with a stroke, we need this stroke, this different size stroke, to be considered at the parent level as a shape and not a stroke, as a fill and not a stroke, to be precise. How we can do that? So let's come back there and let's put there the value we want at the end. So we already said that's 4. It's still there, but I can't see anything because it's below. So I will leave that on top just to show you how it works. And now I will deselect everything and come back again on my roads. And I will select, for example, here, my stroke, my basic stroke. Not, for example, on this one, this is the highway with, this is the dashed line, but the main road, just selecting this part, and I will add an affix, and this affix is named path outline stroke. It's virtual, that will not outline at all the stroke, but it will be considered at the top level, that could be at the level of group, of a layer, at the level of a layer, and that will work. So no impact there, because simply I didn't replace there my element. And now you can see that works exactly like I want. Now let's do that for the second one. Let's select the basic stroke. Let's add a new path, outline stroke, and let's replace it. Same thing for the third one. Let's just select the stroke. Let's add a path, outline stroke, and let's replace this one. Now you have this weird stuff, but it's not important, because when you will put that behind, when you will come back to the road, and you will put the stroke below the content, now you have it. And now you get how I achieved to do this magenta just to attract your attention. The magenta is not really good there, you can change the color later, but that's how I did it, and I achieved to have this road mixing really nicely with others. So that's the fundamentals of this road. We will see in a next video how now to create, for example, a round gyration place. In Europe we have a lot, and we'll see also how to put one road on top of one other in the next video.